Hey Ken family, welcome to our new Talking with Ken. Here we will talk about all the queries that you had. We know this 2-3 months were very hard for all the international students and people who are looking for their PR because there are a lot of updates. So let's hear from our expert Vishnu Puthillath. What's the update? What will it do in our future? Will you get a PR or not?
You will get a PR. You will get a PR. Let's talk about what are the easiest way to get a PR. So let's start with Adab. Namaste, Shashikal. Let's start it.
Based on the update that we have recently, is there any possibility of dropping the PR points for the LMIA?
Okay, so this is a very hot news coming, but again, politics, immigration, and Canadian policies can change anytime. Right now, it's just a press conference where Mark Miller had just announced that, okay, he is planning to drop the LMI points. But again, we don't have to worry. This is a loophole which people are trying to get more CRS point, where they are even ready to pay a huge amount to an employers, which again, I never support for that because again, it's your hard-earned money. Try to look into other ways, try to go into a skilled job. But as of today, when I'm talking to you, it is just opinion what Mark Miller has placed. It is neither on a CIC, neither it is announced, neither is implemented. So right now, don't even have to think about it. Try to get the ways for PR. That should be your motive.
Okay. But I've just heard that for the LMI now you need median wage, right? Mm-hmm. Which is gonna be 30, 35. So do you think people, the companies or whatever businesses have, they will even give LMI to students or the newcomers?
Okay. So now, let me just explain that what was there before and what is now, okay? So earlier also there was a median wage. But the point is, there are two kinds of median wages there. One is as per the NOC code and one is as per the province. So earlier, it was about as per the NOC code. So if, for example, if it was a cook, the median wage was just about like 50 cents more than the minimum wage, 17.25. Then the cook median wage would be 17.50, maybe something around. But now what they did is, that kind of wage, even the employer by taking money or even anyone can do it. So what current government did right now is, they tried to boost that median wage criteria from the NOC code to the provincial level. So now, if you're looking into a cook where the median wage for Ontario may be around 17.50, but when we are looking into a provincial level, that median wage is around $30. Okay. Because again, across the NOC code, irrespective of which job title now you're applying, you have to match the median wage as per the provincial, which is 30. But now, after that, there is another policy change came, which says about, okay, on top of that, now there is a 20% more wage need to be there to do the LMI, which is implemented on 8th or 9th of November of 2024. So that means if someone wanted to get a PR in Ontario, they need to have at least the wage of $35 to $36 to match the median wage of the province plus 20% of the cap. So with that,
so much, yeah.
Yeah. So right now, what Canadian government is trying to do, what I'm seeing from the policy from the outside right now is, first of all, decrease the unemployment ratio, especially for those who are Canadian citizen PR. Second, trying to increase the job for the Canadian market where they're trying to control the flow of the temporary resident from outside Canada. But the third and most important thing is by keeping the wage this high, now only the genuine employers or those employers who really wanted to have an employee will make the payment of that. So for example, where earlier the employer used to pay only $20 as a restaurant manager, now if the employer paid $36, think about it, it's a benefit for the employee. Ultimately gonna stop this under the table work, the high wage for LMI and this kind of thing, which is again, when I'm looking into from the immigration point of view, which I see a good point, because now, one, the LMI, this kind of scams will be stopped. And second, now those people who are sitting around more than 500 range because of the LMI, that will also start to decrease slowly. Okay. So it's win-win situation for both the parties as per me.
It's just a subtle way to say no, stop scam.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And we have just seen recent draws, like it's going crazy. CEC is going crazy. So will it stay same, or in 25 do you think it's gonna change or reduce? What's your thought?
Definitely the CEC has to come down, because now if you're looking into a larger perspective, there is around 395,000 applications CIC is going to be accepting for next year. So in that, if there is at least 10% goes for the express entry, 10%, I'm not talking about more, I'm just talking about 10%, which is almost like 39,000, 40,000. Among that, if we are looking into current CEC draw, there is almost 16 to 17,000 applicants are there who are sitting around more than 500 points. CIC, immigration start to resume the normal CEC draw, definitely the score will drop. But the most important thing is currently what's happening with Canadian immigration. That we need to understand, because now in Canada, when now Liberal, Justin Trudeau government is knowing that, okay, they may lose the whole election, they may not able to come to a next election because of the taxes, because of their immigration policy, which they have set in last 3 years. Again, he openly accepted that, okay, he made a mistake and he's trying to recover. But again, it's already too late, to be very honest. But however, whenever we are seeing this kind of policy, I can say it is a replica of what is already implemented in Quebec, or by conservative thoughts, or in their what is their motive, conservative motive. Just Liberal is trying to copy that at this point.
At least covering some part.
Covering some part, because now those people who support conservative will see that, okay, now already Liberals started to implement that. Okay, let's vote.
We just recently saw he updated that removing tax from some of the things for the
essential groceries. So there are two things which he told. One is that for next 2 months, there will be no HST GST on the essential products, including kids, toys, clothes, and those kind of things. And second thing, paying $250 back if your income was more than $150,000. Now the point is, if I'm having $150,000 income, when I don't care about the $250, that's a reality. But again, some kind of benefits are coming, which I believe in the immigration also, we will see that in the future, where near to the election, definitely he also wanted to make the higher class, those who can have a chance to get a PR, happy. And by that, the CEC draw will start out. There is new system will come, or new process can come, which can able to make the PR little bit easy. So yes, score will drop, but specifically, like I always mention, always have a plan B. So for example, your score is 500, you have still 1 year of work permit. Try to switch your job to a skilled healthcare, do certain certification. It's not something good, like I'm saying that, okay, no, from IT, you have to switch to trucking. But again, you can look for other options. Try to convince your employer for PNP. Let them know that, okay, if the support is not there, there might be a situation that you need to leave that employer. So if you convince them, I believe that is the most important thing, that if you make the employer understand, definitely employer may be able to support for PNP. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and follow us and support us, because again, we really want you to stay informed about the Canadian immigration.
And after CEC, we had the healthcare draw, which was healthcare version 1. So what does that mean?
Nothing. So it's basically the name. So they can put whatever they want. So if there's a version 1, like it's okay, it's implemented in, that's the first set. So if someone know about the category based percentage draw, when it was launched, it was said that every year there will be changes coming. So it is not a permanent policy, permanent pathway for the PR. It will change. So the one which we see, the current NOC code, that's a version 1. Okay. It can change in the next one, it can change another one. But again, as of now, that's just a title. It doesn't matter. It's just a healthcare draw, skilled draw, like STEM, transportation, agriculture. It's just a version 1 because it's not updated yet.
Okay. And do you think the positions which we have, so the NOC codes which we have in the version 1, will that be changing, or new positions will be, they will be adding new positions in like opticians, then there is dietary aids. So what do you think?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So let me just clear two things in that. The policy, the pathway already specify that there will be changes in the NOC codes every year based upon what Canada needs. But second and most important, dietary aid goes under tier 4. Okay. So definitely that will not be coming into that. But again, there are other NOC codes which come under NOC 3, 2, 1. It may be added in the future down the road. So like I said, right now what I see is the great risk is on welder NOC code. Because already the skilled trade is not picking the welder. A lot of people are jumping into that welding NOC code. And the same thing what I'm seeing is 33102, the PSW NOC code also, because again, without thinking, a lot of people are trying to get into and study into that kind of stream. But again, there will be a saturation level. And when the saturation level reach, CIC will change that NOC code. So always, plan A, plan B, plan C is always good. But yes, there will be changes in coming year.
Okay. So people can expect more PR if they are in healthcare.
Oh yes, definitely. Oh, definitely. So it's all goes with the employment ratio. So what Canada needs, should study that. You should be working there. It's not about white collar job. In Canada, it's never be about that. Okay, you studied engineering and you have to do engineering. Okay, you have skills, you can do something else. So when you come here, you started to study, you started to get a job which Canada needs, and in returns, you get a work permit, you get a PR, and again, in the successful future in life.
Yeah. If you do what you came for, they will welcome you. Otherwise, we have seen what's happening around. Yeah.
A lot of deportations going on, and please stay away from a lot of negative news, negative pathways, which can put you in a huge risk and huge stress.
Right. Talking about the deportation, I have recently heard that a lot of ONP people who got PR from ONP are getting deportation because they are not following the policy after the PR. So can you...
When you get a PR through a RNIP, Rural Immigration Pilot Program, or you get a PR through a PNPs, there is always a condition that you are born to that community or you're born to that province. So for example, if someone got a PR in Nova Scotia through a Nova Scotia PNP, now the condition is that that person has to stay in that same province after getting the PR for 2 years. So what usually happens is, and again, when I say this in the last video also, people start to outrage, no, this is not the law, because again, my friend did that and he moved out, he got his PR, he got his citizen. Remember one thing, it's not that one person. When we are talking about a Canadian immigration policy, which is same for everyone. Maybe he's lucky or she's lucky. Slipped out. But when you are going with the citizenship, I see, because now, as an immigration firm, I get all kind of that troubles what people get, and they come to me for the solution. And one of the common thing is that, okay, I was in Nova Scotia, I got my PR, but immediately got a PR, I moved to Ontario because I don't want to stay there. But now when I applied for my PR renewal, I'm getting a notification of procedural fairness to prove that, okay, why I moved out. So again, if you don't follow a regulation, a code of conduct in Canada, you can expect a deportation. And again, there is solutions. But my sincere request to every international student is that why to even create that kind of situation? Just follow the regulation. Like it's like, okay, you came to Canada for study well. If you're looking into to make money, you fail the subject, again you're spending the more money what you will not even make by working for part-time or full-time. When you go on work permit, try to look for a job which can get you a secure PR pathway or where the employer is good. Don't look for just that, okay, no, I'm just working for the PR. Because if an employer knows that you are working for PR, he may not even support you. So work hard. If you get convinced your employer, he will support you for the PR. I see a lot of international students in Ontario right now who are convincing their employer and who got like PNP support and RNIP support from a Canadian employer. So it is possible, but it just, you need to have that understanding that, okay, if you say I can convince an employer in Nova Scotia to support me for PR, why don't you support that in your local, your own employer?
Canadians are good. You just have to behave well.
And it's again, like you are living in their country. So when you are coming as an international student, you need to respect them. You need to show that, okay, no, I can work this, I have this skill. Can you support me? And again, if you're genuine to an employer, I don't say that, like I can 100% guarantee on this thing that they will do anything for you. Sorry to say, but when we see our people, South Asians, even for support, some employer ask for money. But let me tell you honestly, in last 7-8 years, whenever I talk to a Canadian employer, they don't even ask for money. They just say, yeah, he's working for me so long, just support him, let me know what I can do for him. So that is an honest employee-employer relationship, which I really wanted to promote.
We have seen that a lot of people are not getting their work permit yet. They are on implied status. They are waiting since 2 months. So can they, in that time period, can they apply for the spousal work permit, or it's not allowed?
Oh, it is possible. So right now, it's very common that application is placed, it's past the normal processing time. It's very usual. You don't even need to worry. Even if your temporary work permit authorization letter is getting expired, still, you guys are on an implied status, you can continue work. That's about the primary applicant. Going to a dependent, if you wanted to apply for a spousal open work permit, we had made many other videos. I will tag few of them in below to explain how, when you can able to apply for spousal open work permit. But just simple thing, even if the primary applicant on an implied status, the individual is qualified to apply for spousal open work permit dependent if the person have eligibility. Like if it's on a work permit implied status, then the primary applicant need to have a full-time job and 3 pay stubs. If it is an implied status of a student, then the primary applicant need to have a course offer letter, prove that the particular he or she is studying full-time course, to get a spousal open work permit extension, it is possible. And again, once again, don't forget to subscribe the channel and follow us and support us, because again, we really want you to be stay informed about the Canadian immigration.
And if we talk about of implied status, there are people who wants to go back to India for some reason. So can they travel on implied status, or do have to? What's it?
No, they cannot. Unfortunately, on implied status, you cannot able to travel because you don't have a permit. To travel, you need a visa. So the visa you can only able to submit it once your permit is got approved. So if you have a visa which is like for 10 years, which used to come for every international student long back, yes, you can travel because you have a valid visa, you can travel with implied status. But if you do not have a visa, then you have to wait to get the permit, and then you have to travel with a proper visa once it get approved.
Okay, so you need a TRV first to travel. Okay.
Valid TRV is required to travel back to Canada. So now, to leave Canada, you can leave without TRV, without permit. That's fine. But when you come back, 102% you need to have a valid TRV.
Many students, they are asking that when they, as we talked in our previous talking with Ken, that you can go to have a vacation before you get your work permit and between your studies ended. So when they go there and when they come, if CIC officer asks them why are you coming back, so what can be a good reason, or should they come before the convocation or after the convocation? What's the best time?
They can come anytime. So if you have a valid visa and valid permit, you can come travel anytime. Again, CBC officer is not stopping you, he's asking you. So when someone asks you, you need to give a genuine reason for that. So for example, okay, I completed my study, I visited back home. Now after coming to Canada, I'm going to apply for my postgrad open work permit. Because as per the regulation, you can apply for a postgrad open work permit 180 days after completing a program. But again, I don't recommend them to wait till 180 days. Apply as soon as possible before your study permit get expired. But again, you can able to give this reason to the CBSE officer that yes, I'm traveling to India, I'm coming back, and after landing in Canada, I'm going to apply for my postgrad open work permit. It's well proof, you don't need to worry.
Yeah, students are just so worried that they have said in their SOPs that we will go back. So it's like a big risk for them.
So again, non-study permit, you have to say that you are going back. Right now also, you're not saying that, okay, you just apply for work permit and you're going to stay here. You're applying for work permit because you have completed the study of 1 year or 2 years. So with that, you get your work permit. So you just need to tell the CBSE officer that, okay, I complete my study, I'm going to apply for open work permit, but I'm only going to apply once I'm back.
And like in last 2-3 days, we have received lot of approvals. I mean PR approvals, and I have seen that not many, but two or three of them got a PR after they had to go back to India. So can you just give some insights how that works, or how did we got that approvals?
So we received almost 7 invitations in last healthcare draw, and we have received more than 7 PR confirmations, and in that 3 of them were in India. So again, my usual recommendations to every international student is that, okay, if you are like, most of the time students approach me at the last moment as the last option. My fees is a little bit high for the consultation, which I would be genuinely accepting that. But again, most of the people keep it as a last option that, okay, nothing work, okay, let's go to the Canadian immigration. And when they come to me, if they have less time, their profile is good, I try to make that proper for the PR pathway, but I never recommend anyone to be in Canada if you are applied for a Vista record and if you are unemployed. So usually for my client, if I see the profile is good, but they already did that kind of step where I cannot able to appeal or there is no work permit possible, I usually take their case for the PR. I tell them to go back to India because again, no expenses, no rent, they are with family, peace of mind. And again, anyhow, I'm taking care of the PR. So I can even do a PR for my client who are even back home in India. So for example, they got a PNP. Now I need to apply for a PR, the PR pathways. It's gonna take 3 to 4 months. I recommend them to go to India, wait there until the whole process is going on. And once the process is done, again, I get the passport request, I send to them, they send it to get it stamped. Once it's stamped, they can land here and they get a COPR and they get a PR. It's the same thing. It doesn't make any difference other than there is some time duration that, okay, if you are outland, it can take 1 month extra. But think about that 1 month is way more valuable than spending 15-20,000 when you don't have a job. You're struggling financially, you're living in Canada, you cannot able to pay your rent. It's better, man, go enjoy your vacation. You're already paid me to represent you. That's more than enough. I really don't want anyone to be struggling and having that stress kind of thing that, okay, no, with my immigration, I will not get a PR, I need to stay here. No, you can go, you can be in any part of this world during the PR process.
So since immigration means are getting tough, it's because of the election or anyway, so what will you suggest or give ideas to new students who are coming to Canada?
So Canada is still a beautiful country where if you come as an international student, if you come on a work permit, you can have a bright future. It's not about that, okay, the regulation change come and that suddenly make that no, Canada is not an option. Still, you can come and study in Canada. The only thing is that you need to understand, you need to go through an agency or you need to go through an immigration firm, which make you understand that how the pathway would be, that, okay, you need to do this particular study, which will get you this kind of job possibilities. If you work in this, you will get this kind of wage. Okay, this is the employment situation there where you can able to work. And then that can lead to a PR through PNPR and IPR, other things. So for a simple example, if a person is there who recently from India, a family approached me for a study permit for their son. So when they approached me, the first thing which I told them is don't send the kid after 12th. Now, the most important thing is that after 12th, if the person is coming, they have very less chances of getting a good professional job. So I recommended them to go with a degree, and after degree, they can able to plan, okay, that time, which is the country good to get PR, get settled, do that. But the parents were little bit adamant saying that, no, we don't want our son to study in India because they wanted to get him abroad study. Then I recommend them to go with certain 3-year diploma or 4-year degree course. So because if anyone study in Canada for 3-year diploma or 4-year degree, technically that is equivalent to a degree from back home. Plus it get extra point for express entry. Plus that will have a co-op, which can able to get that student to have a theoretical, and after that they can land into some practical knowledge, and that can convert into a full-time employment where the person is working co-op. So yes, you don't even need to go to a university with a high price. You can even go with the colleges. Just keep one thing in mind, that whichever course you are taking, that is futuristic. It's not just for today. It need to be futuristic where the student can able to get a job, and also talk to the college, because college also do some field placement. They do co-op. So if you know about those things, then you can make your decision way more better way, that okay, if a 19-year-old guy is coming to Canada, at least in 23, when he pass out from that course, he will have a job security, which is very important, because if you get a job security, okay, we can look into PR, other pathways, but at least he will financially stable, he will get a abroad experience. Even if he go back to India, or if he can wanted to look for other countries, that is open for him because he's young and he has a lot of other options.
You should make your future path same as what Canada wants. Then is you have success.
Because again, you go to US, you go to Australia, right now you go to UK, you go to Ireland, anywhere. It's not like what you want, you go and do there. You always need to understand what that country want. And then you need to plan. So again, what was happening before, where agents used to push the students that, okay, do some PGEDM course, do this course, okay, you get a study permit, you will get a work permit. No, that's not something gonna work now. You need to really plan, and especially this message is for the parents out there. Always remember one thing, it's not just pushing them. You are the person who is making a decision, and don't fall on a false assumptions, false promises of the agencies there. Talk to someone who is already in Canada. So it can be a relative, it can be immigration firm, it can be us, it can be anyone, but at least talk about the reality, what is happening in Canada, and then make a decision, because you're sending a young mind and you really don't want him or her to struggle in Canada and have a negative impact on their future life.
So we talked about the students who will be coming. So now can you guide the students who will be graduating by 2025? So can you give some tips to them? What can they do?
So the simple tip and trick for those international students who are going to pass out is try to find a good job. It's not just about working in Tim Hortons, McDonald's, or just somewhere doing some basic job because you believe that, okay, employer will support you. If you studied for 2 years, I literally do not even sign up if you study for 2 years. I tell my students that, okay, you need to find a job for 6 months. If you don't get a job, then come to me. But at least that 6 months, you need to be open to find a job. And again, don't limit yourself that, okay, I studied in Niagara Falls, I studied in Toronto, I will only wanted to get a job there. Think about you. If you have that kind of mindset, you may lose your 2 years of your work permit, and third year you might be moving to Newfoundland or some kind of a rural area just to get the PR. So why don't you try to move little bit outside the GTA and try to get a PR? That would be my strong recommendation. But the second and most important thing is, before you pass out, try to do your IELTS, which is again right now it's compulsory. But second, do your WS and do one consultation with any immigration firm you wanted to go through and get all the knowledge about the current trend of immigration. Because if you, before getting into a work permit of 3 years, you know that, okay, what I have to do, then again, you can able to plan that, okay, yes, if I go into this particular stream or if I look into a job in this particular stream, okay, this is the way to look for a job. And this kind of employer can support, you get some kind of reference, then again, that can get you a PR, that can reduce a lot of stress. I do a lot of consultation day-to-day basis where, again, I'm not doing any magic, but one thing which I tell them is how to get a job, because if I know any employer who support for the PNP and I see the profile is good, I just recommend my client to apply there. Okay. They don't need my recommendation, they don't need anything, because that profile is good, the employer in need, definitely they will hire, and that's how we make the link between employee and employer. And that works always.
Okay. And recently, unfortunately, we have seen there are a lot of riots going on around Canada, and also there is some harsh relation between India and Indian government and Canadian government. Will that affect the immigration in any way?
Always. It's politics. So when it comes to election, there is some kind of politically created riots comes. And what I'm seeing right now is in last like 2-3 years it was not there, but now when it's coming near to the election, it's just increasing day by day. So it make me believe that, okay, there is some kind of a political advantage which some of the parties are trying to take it, and that is one of the reasons. But again, we need to think as an individual if we want to make a change. So a single person cannot bring a change, but at least if you try to correct yourself, don't share that kind of post. And again, if there is something where you're seeing negativity, try not to follow that, because again, if you try to follow it, you're getting it feeded. And again, it's just making your life hard, because you will be getting deported, not the leaders who literally boosted you for this.
Okay. And will that affect any policies? Like, do you think any policy will get changed or they stop it?
Oh yes. So right now what we see in Canadian immigration, there is very high refusal rate for the Indian passport holder. So again, directly or indirectly, we can see that right now Canada trying to decrease the immigration flow from India to Canada, which is one of the reasons. But again, it may be temporary, it can be permanent. But it's political. I'm not a political expert to comment on that. But to be honest, if we behave good, we bring positivity in the community where we live, it will support our community. If one person is doing some negative things, creating this kind of riots, just keep one thing in mind. This is not going to influence you, but it is going to be influencing your whole family, relatives, your community, which you wanted to support, that is also getting influenced. So please guys, well behave, spread positivity, and decrease the negativity in this environment. Because again, every individual who is seeing this video, a part of the Can family, I would only humbly request you that don't go into this kind of thing where because of someone said something, you started to take a charge and you started to spread negativity in the society. So again, just live your life peacefully.
Okay. So we'll just wrap our session. We have this last question that we will answer. So recently I've seen like many students who are getting out of their work permit, or anyway they have to go home, they will apply for refugee. So what do you think about it? What would you say?
So guys, keep one thing in mind. Life is not about the short-term goals. Yes, you might be reaching some of the immigration firm which just wanted to make money out of you for the short period of time. So for example, you reach them when your work permit is about to expire. They tell you, oh yeah, you can able to extend your work permit, just do a refugee claim, or you can do asylum seeking. Keep one thing in mind. The asylum seeking or refugee claim is something which, yes, get you the open work permit for time being until the hearing comes. But one day there will be hearing. So when the hearing comes now, you need to prove the court that, okay, you are claiming the asylum or you are claiming the refugee because of a certain purpose. So once again, how you can able to prove it when your whole family is living back home, when you stayed in Canada and now your work permit is about to come, and at that point you are putting this kind of asylum. Please avoid that. I have seen the open letter from the Mark Miller to the immigration consultant and lawyers. Recently it came to me also, where the government is requesting to do one thing, that is to hold the code of ethics, which every immigration professional has to do, that not to mislead the clients to a certain way, which is not by support, like by putting the lies on the document or creating the forged document. So please don't do this. If any immigration firm or consultant, if they are watching this video, please keep one thing in mind. You guys are working with the client for their better future life. Tell them honestly that by claiming this kind of asylum seeking or the refugee claim, you are maybe getting an open work for temporary, but once the hearing comes, it will get refused. You are gonna be get banned from Canada and almost the 5 countries which is work with Canada in the immigration database. And once those countries are knowing that, okay, you claimed an asylum seeking, trust me, you cannot even go and migrate to other country or you can come to Canada. The success rate of asylum is getting decreased day by day.
Okay.
So please, to every international student who are watching this video, or share it with one of your friend who might be planning to go with this asylum seeking because he's getting convinced by one of the immigration firm, that don't do that. You cannot able to visit your home country. I know one of a client who's unfortunately his mother passed away and he cannot even able to attend the ritual because he claimed refugee and his court hearing is next month. So immigration is simple. People surrounding to you or certain people for their benefit just make it hard for you so that you will pay them. Don't do that. And once again, stay away from asylum seeking, refugee claimed, all kind of illegal thing, because this is just gonna put you in a lot of stress. And please share this video with one of your friend who might be thinking in that way so that he can understand and you can save one of the life of the person who might have came to Canada with a lot of hopes.
Okay, so that's it for our today's session. Thank you so much for watching this video so long, and I hope that you will have got your answer what you were looking for. And thank you so much, Vishnu, for being in this session and guiding us through this. And please subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment down if you have more doubts than this, and we will help you with it.
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Comment below what you feel about the Canadian immigration at this point and what is your point of view. Because your point of view make a huge difference when we talk. At least a lot other people can able to understand and connect with that. And that is something the motive of Can Immigration on this podcast. Hope this information help you. Take care and have a nice day.
And one more thing, today we are having our talking with Can even Niagara for office. So we are open in Niagara now. So you can come and have an appointment with in person with Vishnu. So book your appointment, like, subscribe and share.
Don't forget that. Take care.